History of management. 125 years ago, business ideas and practices were so different that today's widely accepted management ideas would have been as self-evident as space travel, cell phones, or the internet. In the beginning, management ideas can be seen throughout history. It can be seen as early as 8000 to 3000 BC in ancient Sumer. Sumerian businessmen used small clay tokens of different sizes to calculate quantities of grain and livestock. The use of these tokens led to the future use of symbols and eventually writing. This new technology of writing made business management much more efficient. Early influences on management. Imagine tasks as enormous as building pyramids without proper management. As you can tell from the illustration of the upside-down pyramid, that without management, disaster is probable. Egyptians recognized the need for planning, organizing, and controlling. It began with written records, and eventually it evolved to planning, organizing, controlling, submitting written requests, and consulting advisors. Controls, using witnesses in legal cases, wage incentives and production control, strategy, management as separate art, human relations and motion study, job description, delegation of authority, leadership traits, managerial traits, different organizational forms, numbering, standardizations, and interchangeability of parts, critique of poor management and leadership, and cohesiveness, power, and leadership and organization. Early employment methods. During early history of employment, most people did not commute to work. Work usually occurred in homes or on farms. In 1720, almost 80% of the 5.5 million people in England lived and worked in the country. And as recently as 1870, two-thirds of Americans earned their living from agriculture. Industrial Revolution, 1750 to 1900. Jobs and organizations changed dramatically during this time. With the incorporation of machines and skilled labor, production increased as well as job quality. Unskilled laborers were replaced with skilled artisans. Mass production. Mass production was born as rope and chain driven assemble lines moved work to stationary workers who concentrated on performing one small task over and over again. This made it exceedingly important to have managers present because workers needed to focus completely on their singular tasks. Evolution of management. Prior to 1880, most all business educators taught only basic bookkeeping and secretarial skills without published books or articles based around management. Today, there are multiple books, articles, and journals outlining management and related material. Evolving management through science. Bosses used to make decisions based on their own cognitions. If workers opposed their boss, they would be rewarded with physical and verbal abuse. There were no set standards by which to judge whether performance was good or bad. This all changed, however, with the advent of scientific management. Father of scientific management, Frederick W. Taylor. Frederick W. Taylor began his career as a worker in the Midval Steel Company. He was promoted multiple times until he reached status of chief engineer. Taylor faced many challenges while trying to improve output. He faced hostility from employees, dealt with employees purposely breaking machinery, and threats of violence. He tried multiple ways, including doing the work himself and hiring new employees to train himself to promote job performance and output, but this also failed. The remedy Taylor eventually developed was scientific management. Taylor's 4 principles of scientific management. First, develop a science for each element of a man's work, which replaces the old rule of thumb method. Second, scientifically select and then train, teach, and develop the workman, whereas in the past, he chose his own work and trained himself as best he could. Hartley. This is third. Cooperate with the men so as to ensure all of the work being done is in accordance with the principles of the science that has been developed. Fourth, there is an almost equal division of the work and the responsibility between the management and the workmen. The management take over all the work for which they are better fitted than the workmen, while in the past almost all of the work and the greater part of the responsibility were thrown upon the men. Heroes of management evolution. Frank and Lillian Gilbreth. Frank Gilbreth began a career as an apprentice bricklayer. Frank and his wife Lillian began studying various ways of movement to eliminate the unnecessary motion of bricklaying. This became known as motion study. Henry Gantt. Henry Gantt is best known for the Gantt chart, but he also made significant contributions to management with respect to pay-for-performance plans and the training and development of workers. A Gantt chart visually indicates what tasks must be completed at which time in order to complete a project. Bureaucratic and administrative management. Bureaucracy is the exercise of control and the basis of knowledge, expertise, or experience. Administrative management is the process of creating information systems and supervising its flow from and to others within an organization. Elements of bureaucratic organization. Qualification-based hiring. Employees are hired on the basis of their technical training and educational background. Merit-based promotion. Promotion is based on experience or achievement. Managers, not organizational owners, decide who is promoted. Chain of command. Each job occurs within a hierarchy, the chain of command, in which each position reports and is accountable to a higher position. A grievance procedure and a right to appeal protect people in lower positions. Division of labor. Tasks, responsibilities, and authority are clearly divided and defined. Impartial applications of rules and procedures. Rules and procedures apply to all members of the organization and will be applied in an impartial manner, regardless of one's position or status. Recorded in writing. All administrative decisions, acts, rules, or procedures will be recorded in writing. Managers separate from owners. The owners of an organization should not manage or supervise the organization. Modern day management. As shown in the caption, today's management is based off of evolution, experience, and education. Synergy is also a large aspect of business today. Synergy is when two or more subsystems working together can produce more than they can working apart. Management in the 21st century. Most all managers today have some sort of formal training or education. Management has become a methodical process in which companies invest large sums of money and time into its employed leaders. Just as management in business has evolved in the past, it will certainly continue to evolve in the future. This will be necessary as long as production requirements continue to rise.